The room was filled with laughter, glittering champagne flutes, and tiny pink gift bags that smelled like lavender and vanilla lotion, the kind of scene every girl dreams of when she imagines her bridal shower. And yet, I stood in the center of it all, completely numb, heart thudding louder than the speakers playing Single Ladies. Because he had just walked in. He, the one man I hadn't seen in 3 years. The one man I never wanted to see again. The one who used to whisper forever into my neck at midnight and then vanished like I never existed. And now he was here. At my bridal shower. Standing in the doorway, holding a small gift box like he belonged. I didn't know whether to scream, faint, or run into his arms. Instead, I laughed. Too loud. Too forced. And then I made the stupidest decision of my life. I walked over to him, looked into those ocean blue eyes, and said, "You came." He didn't say a word. Just handed me the box and leaned in so close I could smell the old cologne I once kept in my drawer like a secret. What happened next? Let's just say I woke up the next morning in a hotel room, with his shirt on, not my fiancé's. Before I tell you what happened next, make sure you're alone, because this story gets darker, messier, and nothing like the fairy tale I planned. It started 3 days before my wedding. I was supposed to be glowing, floating on pre-wedding joy, surrounded by love, friends, and floral arrangements that cost more than my first car. Instead, I was sipping watered-down champagne and pretending not to notice that the girls at the table next to me were whispering and pointing. I didn't care. My heart was somewhere else, tangled in the past. And then he walked in. Eli. The man who ruined me. 3 years ago, Eli and I were fire, dangerous, addictive, and so good it felt illegal. We met at a summer internship, kissed in elevators, fought like war and made up like movies. But when things got real, when I started using words like future and job and us, he disappeared. One voicemail, one plane ticket, and poof. Gone. No explanation. No closure. And now he was standing in front of me at my bridal shower, his jaw sharper than I remembered, his shirt sleeves rolled up like he was still the rebel who never wore a tie. He looked like he had no right to be there. And yet, he also looked like the only man I'd ever loved. "Hi," he said, and that stupid smirk was still there, the one that used to melt me and infuriate me at the same time. "What are you doing here?" I hissed, forcing a smile so tight my cheeks trembled. "I was invited." "Bullshit." He shrugged and held out the box. "It's just a gift. Thought I'd congratulate you. In person." I should have walked away. I should have handed the box to my maid of honor and forgotten he existed. But I didn't. I took it. I opened it. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with a small, engraved charm. It read, "For when you forget who you are." I nearly dropped it. "Why would you give me this?" I whispered. He looked at me like I was the only person in the room. "Because I know you. And I know this isn't you." I could have slapped him. Instead, I laughed again. Too loud. Too fake. I said something like, "That's rich," coming from the guy who ghosted me, and turned to walk away. But I felt it, the magnetic pull between us, like the years had never passed. An hour later, after everyone had left and the last of the mimosa glasses were clinking in the kitchen sink, I found myself outside. Alone. In the parking lot. His car was still there. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Room 412. Don't come if you're sure. I don't remember driving there. I just remember the key card in my hand shaking like it didn't want me to open the door. But I did. And there he was. Shirt half unbuttoned. Eyes dark. Voice low. Still not you, he said. I don't know who kissed who first. Maybe we both did. Maybe it was inevitable. All I know is, when I woke up, sunlight bleeding through the curtains and my engagement ring missing from my finger, I was wearing his shirt. And I had no idea where my fiancé was. I stared at my hand for what felt like forever. No ring. No sense of reason. Just the heavy weight of Eli's shirt draped over my bare legs and the overwhelming stench of guilt tangled in the sheets. My phone had 17 missed calls, all from Noah. My fiancé. The man who'd spent the last year planning a future with me, completely unaware that I still kept a ghost in my heart. And now I was wearing that ghost shirt like a confession. I should have panicked. But I didn't. I just sat there, numb. Like my body hadn't caught up to the sin my soul had committed. Eli stirred beside me. When he opened his eyes, there was no remorse in them. Just that maddening calm. You stayed, he said. Shut up, I muttered, grabbing my clothes. You always run after we burn. I stopped. Don't do this. Do what? Tell the truth? I turned around so fast I nearly slipped. The truth? You want to talk about truth? You disappeared. For 3 damn years. I begged for answers. I cried over you until my bones hurt. You don't get to show up now and pretend you're some tragic hero. His face changed, just for a second, like something cracked beneath the sarcasm. I left because I thought I'd ruin you. Too late. I walked out. On the way home, I rehearsed my lie. I was out late with the girls. We got drunk. I crashed at Lena's. That's why I missed his calls. That's why I didn't answer his texts. That's why I wasn't there when he showed up at my place with coffee and excitement and love. I smiled. I kissed him. I thanked him for the bouquet. And I lied so well I almost believed myself. But that afternoon, as I was folding laundry, I found the ring. Not in the hotel room. Not in my purse. In my coat pocket. Which meant I took it off before I went to Eli. Somewhere deep in my gut, something twisted. Why would I take off the ring unless I already knew what I was going to do? For the next 2 days, I tried to act normal. Smiled at the rehearsal dinner. Took selfies with my bridesmaids. Kissed Noah in public so it would feel more real. But the guilt didn't fade. It mutated. It grew teeth. And then, the day before the wedding, Lena pulled me aside. Her eyes darted around like they were guarding something huge. Don't freak out, she said. But Eli, he's still in town. I blinked. Okay? He asked me where your dress fitting was. My heart skipped. You told him? I didn't think he'd actually show up. And yet he did. He came. He stood outside the boutique like a ghost in daylight. No words. Just eyes. Watching me. Silently accusing. Silently pleading. That night, I stared at my reflection for an hour, holding the wedding dress against my body like it was armor, or a lie stitched together with lace. I still had Eli's shirt hidden in my drawer. Noah slept peacefully beside me. And all I could think about was whose name I would say if someone asked me who I loved more. The morning of my wedding felt like it belonged to someone else. Everything moved in slow motion, the silk robe, the makeup brushes, the clinking champagne flutes, the endless stream of compliments. "You're glowing," they said. Noah knew that glow was just sweat and fear. My hands trembled as I slipped into the gown. Not from nerves about the wedding, but from the memory of Eli's lips on mine and the shirt still hidden in my nightstand. Noah looked perfect. Every part of him, the navy suit, the crooked tie I always had to fix, the unshakable love in his eyes, screamed stability. He was the man who showed up. Who stayed. Who called me home even on my worst days. And yet, when I walked down that aisle, the one face I searched for in the crowd wasn't his. It was Eli's. And he wasn't there. A sick part of me hoped he'd come. That he'd ruin it. That he'd stand up and say, "Don't do this, she doesn't love him." But there was no dramatic interruption. Just the soft hum of a string quartet and my own heartbeat trying to crawl up my throat. The vows came and went like fog. I said I do with lips that didn't mean it. And when Noah kissed me, I felt nothing. That night, at the reception, we danced. We laughed. We cut the cake. Everyone said we were perfect, that they'd never seen love so visible. I smiled for the camera, for the guests, for the performance. But inside, I was screaming. Later, after the bouquet toss and the final toasts, I snuck away. Just 5 minutes. Just some air. That's what I told myself. I ended up in the hallway outside the ballroom. And then I saw him. Eli. Leaning against the wall like the ending of a song I'd never stopped playing in my head. "You came," I whispered. "I always do," he said. "You missed the ceremony." I didn't need to watch you lie. I didn't have a response. I just stared at him. The tux. The unruly hair. The stupid smirk still lurking beneath the pain in his eyes. "You don't love him," he said. "Don't tell me what I feel. I don't have to. Your face already did." I should have walked away. I should have gone back to my husband. But I didn't. I stepped closer. He didn't move. "I'm married now," I whispered. "Doesn't change how you kissed me," he said. And that was it. The dam broke. My lips crashed into his like they had 3 years of grief to purge. It wasn't soft. It wasn't romantic. It was brutal. Desperate. Addicted. When I pulled away, my lipstick was smeared and my guilt had multiplied. "I have to go," I breathed. "I know." I turned to walk away, and he grabbed my hand. Pressed something into my palm. It was the charm bracelet. The one that said, "For when you forget who you are." I didn't look back. But I didn't drop it either. The plane to Santorini was quiet. Noah held my hand the whole time, his thumb brushing mine like he was painting trust back into my skin. I tried to mirror his joy, but every smile felt borrowed. Every kiss, counterfeit. The ocean view from our villa was breathtaking, the kind of place you only see in glossy honeymoon brochures, white rooftops, blue domes, laughter in the air. But none of it touched me. I was haunted. Haunted by the ghost I let back in. The night after we arrived, I sat alone on the balcony, glass of wine in hand, staring at the moon and wondering if Eli was still in town. Wondering if he hated me. Or worse, still loved me. Noah came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist, and kissed my neck. "You okay?" he asked. Of course, I lied. But I wasn't. The guilt was a stone in my chest I couldn't cough up. And it got heavier every time Noah looked at me like I was his forever. On the fourth night, I finally broke. I told him I needed air. That I was going for a walk. I walked the length of the beach until I hit the edge of the rocks and pulled out my phone. My fingers hovered. I still had Eli's number. My mind raced with 1,000 thoughts. Call him. Don't call. Delete it. Call him. Instead, I did something worse. I texted him. "Do you hate me?" His reply came instantly. "No. I just wish I didn't still love you." I dropped the phone into the sand. I cried until my chest felt hollow. Then I picked it up and deleted the thread. I walked back to the villa and crawled into bed beside the man who believed he had all of me. I didn't sleep. When we returned home, I tried to move on. I threw away the shirt. I buried the bracelet. I blocked Eli's number. I told myself I'd made my choice. But here's the thing no one tells you about choices: even when you pick one, the other haunts you. Months passed. Noah and I built a routine. We smiled for photos. We hosted dinner parties. We talked about kids. And then one day, I found the bracelet again, tucked in the back of a drawer I swore I'd emptied. For when you forget who you are. I stared at it for a long time. I still hadn't told Noah. About the hotel. About the kiss. About the lie we set our vows on. I thought I could forget. But some ghosts aren't meant to be buried. Some love stories never end. They just change shape, into guilt, into regret, into a truth too sharp to speak aloud. And now, every time Noah says "I love you," I smile, and hope he never sees the crack beneath it. Because the truth is, I never took off Eli's bracelet. I just learned how to wear it beneath long sleeves.